Hello everyone. Today I am editing this treat ICM that I took on the iPhone last week. So if you are a Lightroom user, don't worry, most of what we're going to do here is going to be in Adobe Camera Raw, which looks very like Lightroom. It will only be the last tiny bit that I'm going to do something else that you won't be able to do in Lightroom. So first thing I'm going to do here on my layers panel is right click this and say convert to smart object. So we're protecting the pixels, and then filter camera raw filter. The first thing I like to do is just hit the auto button just to see what it gives me, because quite honestly sometimes it gives you inspiration, a bit like looking through your filters here as well. Sometimes you look at things and think, oh, that's a really good idea, or so always worth having a look. But I kind of like what it's done there. I kind of like the way it's brought the light up a little bit. So let's stick with that and just talk through this top panel, because this is where I really come to create texture. And when I'm editing these, my first thinking is yes, light definitely, and color, but also texture, because texture adds depth. It puts back what can be flattened by the camera movement. I always start here in this top panel. So I never really touch the exposure slider at all. Contrast, I generally leave where it is. I'm just going to pull that back to where it was at 0. I like to start off playing around with these here. The first thing I generally do is pull the shadows down, because if you pull the shadows down, you kind of soften the image. I love. And so I usually pull my whites a little tiny bit and then do the same with the blacks to just get that depth and that texture really there on this image. So another quick thing I'm going to show you, if you are using your camera particularly, you might end up with loads of dust spots. So you might want to just come in here. So this is on the remove panel. Just note, I turn off generative AI. I don't ever want AI on my images, so I turn it off everywhere. And then come down to say visualize spots, and it makes everything go black and white, and then you can see where your spots are. The only thing I would just say here is, for example, this we know is the street light, and it can be so easy. I've done it so often, I've removed things that actually are meant to be there. So just be aware of that. So we don't need to remove any dust spots today, so let's come back out to the main screen. So when I've just had a bit of a tinker around in my light panel, I generally leave things alone because I want to edit around the image in sections. So I try not to kind of make global changes to everything. Instead, I come into my masking panel. So I grab myself a radial gradient and just pull one out, just kind of, not too large, because we want to work around in sections. And then I will drop the shadows a tiny bit, and I will add some white and add a little bit of black. And already you can see what a difference that makes to our subject there. So I'm probably going to leave that radial gradient. I love what it's done to the outline of our figure, and also the pavement. Look just how different the pavement looks. And that's really kind of fun to bring the eye into the main subject. So let's just duplicate that rather than mess around creating another one. And with this one, we're now just going to, what I then do is pull it around the image and just see what I might not have noticed. So sometimes you see things that you wish weren't there. But I kind of, one of the things that I loved here was this bit of texture that I noticed over here, where we've got spray and then light interacting. So when you remove the mask, it's kind of a bit wishy-washy, isn't it? A bit muddy. Whereas if we put the mask back on, it makes a bit of difference. So kind of like what it's done to the car and that post as well, and the shop. Definitely the shop. I like the lines with the shop. So then I just kind of go, okay, so I've had a bit of a look round, delete the mask. We've still got our mask on our person here. So that was without, that's with. But let's just leave that for now. And I'm going to grab a brush. I kind of like working with a brush because you can just affect smaller areas. So loved that texture and the colour. So I'm going to see what I can do just playing around just on this bit. So let's just pull the shadows out. I don't want to go really light because that doesn't look natural. What happens if we make it a bit more bold? No. Let's not change the colour here. I'm going to show you something else I love to play around with. And this is using the point colour box. So I grab myself the colour picker tool, which is here. Sample point colour will appear if you hover there long enough. bring your cursor back out into the middle of the screen and then just click on a colour. And then you get these options: hue, saturation, luminance and variance. And I do play with the luminance sliders quite a lot, and then you can adjust the colour as well. So if it's got a bit muddy in the movement, you can now very specifically in just this area add that back. So I'm going to kind of say that's great. Grab the colour picker again and see if I can get hold of this goldeny colour. Is it giving me a different colour? Yep. Then see if I can maybe bring up the luminance a bit. Okay, not bad. Maybe not quite enough. So I might play around with the saturation, maybe make it a bit more golden. You get the idea. Then I'll say grab another brush on the mask, and then I'm going to come in on this building. Obviously, I would be spending quite a bit of time being very careful what I'm grabbing here. But I don't want to spend hours boring you watching me do this. So I'm going to then, oops, I'm on the contrast slider. We don't want that. Let's pull the shadows and then add some black and add a bit of white. That will probably, let's just turn the eyeball off. That look better? Yeah, just enough to really give it a bit of clarity back. And then grab another mask, brush. Love these buildings. I'm going to do the same over here. All the shadows, all the whites, pop a bit of black in. What else might I like to do? Let's grab some point colour, kind of like this blue. Might add some luminance in, and then again. So I just play around, moving around the image, but also being really aware of where you want the eye to fall, because if you make this too bright, then immediately the eye comes over here. What I kind of usually do is come in and go a bit colour mad, because I just love playing with colour. And then afterwards, when I'm done, I go through each mask, turning the eyeball off, and just looking at them thinking, okay, does that work or is that a bit too much? And if I find that it's pulling the eye, then I will go back in and adjust it. So let's come down. Where are we? Mask are we on? I've forgotten now. They were on this little bollard. So I'm going to come down and grab my point colour and click and add a bit of luminance on there, because I really liked the way this person is kind of walking up the middle of these lines. So something else I'm going to do then, focusing on that, is I think we've lost a bit of the colour in the shadows over here. So what happens if we pull the shadow a bit? Yeah, see, I thought so much. I thought that colour splayed out a lot further. So I've just come in, dropped the shadows down just to see what's there. And sometimes you think, okay, that wasn't what I thought, and you delete it. But you're looking to see what might be there that's kind of gone missing. And that's what we've got. Kind of brings the eye there, and it feels much more natural. It feels much more how it looked when I was there, because the pavement was soaking wet where it had been pouring with rain. So I'm going to grab my point colour again, and I'm going to click. So obviously, because we're on a mask, the only bit that's going to be affected is the bit that we've got painted on the mask. So the bit that's red when I hover over the mask. So when you work around the image like this, I find you've got so much control to get this looking how you want it very specifically, without doing anything really clever in Photoshop and spending hours on it. Okay, so that's looking pretty reasonable. Obviously, I would spend a lot more time on this. I'm going to grab myself a linear gradient and just pull that here, just to add, let's add a bit of shadow, just kind of, and a bit of black maybe, just to bring the eye in. Because what I really noticed here was the way this person was walking up these two lines of light. I just thought that was fantastic. I'm going to grab myself another one. I know this is the trouble when you get started, you can't stop. And I'm going to come back in. Maybe the car was blue. I just kind of want to put a bit of blue on, because it kind of got lost, hasn't it? And then in doing that, we've then lost a bit of the texture here. So just a tiny brush, come in, and let's just put some light back there, because otherwise we've lost that effect, and I don't want that. That looks better. That was before with the car, and that's after. So we've just given a bit of clarity back to the car. Okay, let's come out of here. Give my computer a moment to catch up. So Because we've got this on a smart object, we've now got Camera Raw filter on a smart filter, so you can turn it off. That's how we started. That's where we're at now. There's something else that I saw when I was editing this that I kind of didn't really like, but you can see the camera movement, is what's happened to this street light. So this is where I've just dragged the colour up. What I do with that is you could try and remove it, but it will make a mess of it because you've got this lovely light coming out. So you've got this sort of hazy effect, and it's going to be really difficult to blend that. So instead, I'm going to grab myself a blank layer. B for the brush tool. I've got an arty brush selected, but you can do it with anything. And then I'm going to hit Option or Alt to select the colour that we've already got here. And I'm just going to paint some colour on the top here. To look a right mess, and it doesn't really matter for now, because then we're going to come in and say Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and just add that on top. So that kind of is moving my slider to try and get rid of the brush effect. So that's going to be enough for that one. It doesn't look very natural, so I'm going to say Command or Control J to duplicate the layer, and then I'm going to say Command or Control T to transform. I'm just going to drag this out so we kind of get a stronger effect. And then let's blend it, screen blend mode on both of them, and then drop the opacity on both of them. And that's not bad. I'd probably do another one because I just kind of want this stronger in the middle. Maybe leave that one normal, and then we can go filter, blur again. So that's without. That's the first layer. So we've got a screen and we've dropped it down to 76% and blurred it. Second one, transform again. I'm just going to pull that out a little bit more and then drop the opacity further. And then one more, just trying to get rid of the line so it's not quite so obvious there in the middle, and just drop the opacity. When I drop the opacity, you're seeing the line again. So instead, I'm going to put a mask on this layer. I'm going to come in, I'm just going to sort of chip into it a bit. And then what I do to blend it is just blend the mask. So come onto your mask and you can use Gaussian blur on the mask. And that, obviously I would spend a bit of time coming in here and getting this exactly how I want it, but that is my workflow for this particular image. So I hope that's helped you out and given you a few ideas for your editing. So there's going to be loads more coming in Photoshop over the next few months. I'm going to be digging right into multiple exposures, creating them, storytelling, color, light, all sorts. I'm going to have loads of fun. So I will look forward to seeing you next week when I will start sharing how to create multiple exposures using different blend modes in the camera and in Photoshop. So thanks for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Bye everyone.